Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate.
Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And guess what? The world is ending. The market is crashing.
I've been hearing those headlines, seeing those headlines for like 18 months now.
Right? I've been hearing about the bubble bursting in Victoria for the last, that could be a tongue twister, the bubble bursting in Victoria. But I've been hearing about that for the last 10 years.
10 years? And they keep talking about that with Canada.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I guess the reality, we're a little tongue in cheek here, but we want to talk about the reality of what's going on in the market right now and what do we think is going to happen.
Well, it feels like, for right now, September is busier than it's been for a while. Mm-hmm. The real estate board was reporting that sales are up 14% compared to last year's August. I find August sort of like medium pace, like kind of like a steady pace for the first part of August, and then it's like dead quiet. Okay. And I had the reverse. Everything's like gotten really busy for the end of August, and September has been pretty busy as well. So
and certainly you can see that it's picked up now in
the
September.
Numbers reflect that,
right? And we always kind of think of September as like our second spring, right?
Yeah,
you know, the spring market.
Get the kids back into school, and that's another good chance in the fall,
right? When everybody's starting to think about it and make decisions. I had a call yesterday from somebody that said, "I want to buy a business. I'm ready to buy a business." So this is where people are back home and they're getting the kids in school, getting all set up, and okay, now what are we doing?
I have a theory on why it gets busy.
Okay,
so the first one is spring. I'll explain this one first.
Okay.
And then at the summertime, it basically takes the same concept. So at Christmas time, everybody has holidays. Mm-hmm. This is probably the best time where people have a chance to like stop and think about what they want to do, like plan their next steps, right?
Okay.
We do business planning, life planning, setting goals, whatever.
Okay.
This usually happens at Christmas time. Guess what else happens at Christmas time? The most often.
We eat a horrendous amount of food.
Correct. And then I feel guilty about it afterwards.
And then that's when people go marathoning it back to the gym for, I'm going to go every day for the next 3 weeks.
And then I wear stretchy pants for a little while, right? Until that stops.
Yeah.
But marriage proposals happen.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
So big life planning decisions happen around holidays where people actually have time to spend time talking to each other.
Wow.
Instead of like ships passing in the night, right?
So, what does that say about how important a decision it is to put on stretchy pants?
So do you put on stretchy pants before you start eating?
After. Maybe during. You kind of make the decision leading into it.
Right, so that's my theory for explaining like how busy spring is, and then how busy fall is.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the entire reason.
Sure.
But I think that it starts there, and then everything else happens afterwards, right?
Sure.
Like, we'll get the kids back into school, and we'll get into a routine, and then we'll move, right?
Yeah.
If it's not moving away.
Sure.
What is it? Springtime, there's also military transfers.
Right.
For Victoria specifically, or any military town, they usually get their orders around spring. So it's like late spring and summer they're selling and shopping.
Right. Okay. So stretchy pants aside, we come back to September, and we're seeing the market pick up. We're seeing the numbers start to come back up in terms of sales. And the interest rates, as near as we can figure right now, aren't going anywhere.
Right. So we had a pause on them increasing. I could still see them going up more until they get more money out of circulation.
Right.
So we'll see exactly how long they'll keep that up for. But it doesn't seem to be stopping people from like stopping their life plans.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe where we really want to talk about what's the market doing right now. I think we're starting to see the market kind of get moving again. We're starting to see, there's been some multiple offer situations. I know certainly in situations for clients that I had,
Yep.
We're trying to get in and write on something, and they had an offer in hand and said, no, this is a good enough offer that we don't want to wait for another one, but they would have had multiples.
Oh yeah, you told me about that one.
Yeah, so I think we're starting to see that kind of thing happening, where I'll tell you, I can speak to just commercial space. It's busy.
Lots of people are looking.
Yeah,
Doing. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I've had the same experience. Closer into town, the more times offers are coming in quicker. There's offers falling apart. I'm getting reported back every time I show properties. They'll get back to us.
Yeah.
The realtors will get back to us. Hey, that deal fell apart.
Yeah.
Or, we've had 28 showings and 8 people were talking about offers. And
Right.
but these are like, it's not every listing. It's really well priced listings
Yes.
in great areas. Maybe not the best condition of a house, like maybe it's dated, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that, but outside of like the core, I like to think of it as like the eye of the storm, like what's the hottest activity parts of Victoria, and then it starts to be not as busy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like ripple effect up from
It's
the
a ripple
core.
effect. Yeah. That's my.
But so
my eye of the
I would
storm.
say that we're certainly seeing the market start to move again. We're seeing things start to pick up, and I guess people are figuring out what is their new normal for right now, with the interest rates as they are,
Yeah.
not with where are they going to go. And I think the other thing that we're seeing is there's probably lots of pre-construction going on right now as well. So
Oh yeah.
right, so that's buildings that are under construction right now that they're selling, but they're probably a year or 2 years away from actually closing.
Yeah, 2 and 3 years away. Some of them, started sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a certain amount of uncertainty with like how long are they going to take
Right.
to complete the build. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to tell sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I do have some good numbers for us.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
So the
Size of stretchy pants.
size here, Canada would love to fit in those stretchy pants, but it can't. And this is how. So CMHC reports a supply deficit of 610,000 units for BC. I'm not thinking about the rest of Canada right now, but that's over and above what's needed. So we really have like a $900,000 or 900,000 unit deficit for new construction by 2030.
Wow.
We would need 130,000 pre-construction or new construction units, if that's a condo, townhouse, or house, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I like selling development properties. We call it doors. Mm-hmm. So it's like a per unit thing.
Yeah.
So more information. I'll skip to the good parts, right? The all-time record for annual completions in BC was 42,000. That's a lot less than 130,000 per year.
Yeah.
That was in 1993. The average amount of completions are 30,000.
Okay.
So without getting into the numbers of immigration,
Yeah.
or even interprovincial immigration and immigration, we're nowhere near that.
Sure.
And not to say that we have a declining populations. Like, so there's different areas in BC. So I'm talking very generic, where Victoria is a desirable place, and we have a positive net migration. Vancouver and the greater Vancouver area and Lower Mainland, still positive net migration. Even Nanaimo last year hit 100,000 people.
Okay.
So, if you live in a desirable neighborhood, city, where there's good employment, good recreation, good lifestyle, that kind of thing, then it's likely you're going to continue to see people coming, even if it's not at a great a pace like, let's say, Langford, right? I think we're at like 44,000. We've been growing really fastest growing community for like 2 decades, I think.
Yeah.
With the regime of Stu Young and his counselors. So that's not, I can't say that population centers across BC are all going to see a positive net migration.
Yeah.
But, so that's pretty much it.
I think all of that to say, and we've said this before, when's the best time to buy a house? whenever you need to buy a house. If it's right now, it's right now. If you're speculating in investments and things like that, that's a different
conversation.
Right. That's a different conversation to have. And we'd be happy to have that with you if that's your kind of more what you're thinking of. But in general, when's a good time to buy? Well, now's a good time to buy because, we don't know for sure what it's going to look like in a year or 2 years. What we do know is that people are going to keep moving into the area. And
absolutely,
we're still going to have less inventory.
Here's my example. Vancouver, right? Population's been growing probably at like 1 or 2% per year, like slow and steady for the past like 40 years.
Yeah.
Has the price ever gone down?
Yeah. It's a great example.
They keep building.
Yep.
But people keep coming.
Yep.
So the price of Vancouver is obvious. Homes across Vancouver has astronomically gone up since 40 years.
Yeah, and I think you could reasonably say the same
Victoria.
Here. Yeah,
we went from a sleepy little town to like a small, big city.
To the dozing little town. Not really sleepy anymore, but sometimes.
Yeah, well, when you start telling me about like the Victoria shuts down at like, I don't know, 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have a booming nightlife here.
Hockey season's about to start though, so there's at least going to be some later hockey games.
Think Canucks will get in to the playoffs? When the Canucks get into the playoffs, I'll start watching again.
Oh, no, I meant the junior team in Victoria.
That's how much I'm not paying attention.
I grew up in Edmonton. I think we're winning the cup this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like Edmonton.
There you go. Okay, well.
I watched Wayne Gretzky way back when.
Yeah, you know what? So did I. That's the hockey I grew up watching.
That's the only reference I have to that,
there you go.
Right?
So anyway, thank you for joining us. That's our take on what's happening in the market and where it's gone. It flattened out a little bit, and now it's starting to gradually pick up again. How's that? I think that's reasonable?
That's exactly it. Don't believe all the headlines that you read and all what the news reports.
Yeah.
There's just so much like not bad news, but negative spin on everything that's going on out there.
Yeah.
I was reading a news article for Vancouver, and they were saying, oh, you need this kind of income to afford a home, the average home in Vancouver. Wait a minute, a first-time home buyer is not buying an average home typically.
Yeah.
Right? An average home, somebody's going to be they might be a second or third purchase along the lines, like they could have had a condo, could have had a townhouse, half duplex, whatever, and they would have built equity up.
Yeah.
So looking at sales that I'm doing, I could see, I don't know how, I'm not going to say how I found out, but I've seen the buyers come in with like 50% equity. Mm-hmm. They're not leveraging 80% of the purchase price.
Right.
So all of those articles are very deceiving, and I wish they would calculate it more in a realistic manner on average mortgage size.
Sure.
Let's say for first-time home buyer, or average mortgage size for somebody who buys the average home.
Sure.
Okay,
so,
now I'm done.
Now we're done. So catch us next time. See ya.
Bye. We'll catch you in the next video.